All right, welcome back. It's the NFL Exporter, NFL Expert Reporter, Ty Goodman in the Underworld Sports Show. We're doing the first quarter of the NFL season recap. We're moving over now to the NFC South, and in first place is the New Orleans Saints at 4-0. This team looks to be hitting on all cylinders so far this season. We can't start anywhere without starting with captain leader of this team, Drew Brees. Brees is back at full capacity this year. Healthy, all of his targets in the passing game, with the exception of Lance Moore, who's another guy yet again and again just finds himself on the IR list, but he still has viable options. Marcus Colston, a legitimate #1 receiver in this league. Jimmy Graham, the best tight end in this league right now, right up there with Rob Gronkowski. This guy's back healthy and motivated after a subpar, disappointing last season. And Darren Sproles, you know, probably one of the more underrated players in the league, but this guy is a matchup nightmare. There's not a single linebacker in this league who can keep up with this young guy, little guy, especially in the passing game. The offensive line and Drew Brees have been in cohesion for years. Brees, one of the fine masters of this game, spreading the football all over the field, and having back head coach Sean Payton. You can see it. This guy's one of the best play callers in the NFL, designing plays, finding mismatches, putting that Saints offense in the best opportunities possible to win. They look very good. I'm very impressed with the Saints and the way they've rebounded this year. On the defensive side of the ball, you have to be impressed too. Rob Ryan has came over as defensive coordinator. He has much better personnel than he did in Dallas as far as the scheme that he was trying to put together. Guys in the front line, Will Smith, Cameron Jordan, these guys are really making plays, coming off the edge there, being aggressive. Curtis Lofton, an excellent pickup for New Orleans last year from Atlanta. He was supposed to be teaming up with Jonathan Vilma, but Vilma's been battling injuries the last couple of years. So Lofton actually was a very key pickup because he's allowed that Saints middle line there at linebacker to remain stable. And then they definitely have the aggressive guys in the secondary, Malcolm Jenkins and Jabari Greer and guys like that. So it's really the scheme that Rob Ryan has put into place that he has the Saints defense excelling. I'm really impressed with the Saints. Things look to be up for this team as they came out strong during the first 4 weeks of the season. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons coming in at 1-3. The Falcons off to a subpar start. Injuries have been the name of the game for the Falcons here. It's running back Steven Jackson, who they picked up from the St. Louis Rams. Looked very good in Week 1 against the Saints, but has been battling injuries ever since. He's missed the last 3 games. Pro Bowler Roddy White, one of Matt Ryan's favorite targets. He's battled injuries coming to the year, has not been healthy, dealing with ankle injuries. Obviously, as a wide receiver, that's a huge issue. And then so the Saints, the Falcons have found themselves in a position where they don't have all the cylinders that they normally have going for them on offense. So Matty Ryan has been a little bit more uncomfortable. The offensive line has never been the greatest. Atlanta's another team that with great weapons around them can kind of get away with them, but the offensive line has struggled. And then on the defense side of the football, you don't see the same aggressive team that you did last year. A little bit more indecisive, a little bit more suspect to give up big plays. So far this year, you really didn't see that last year from Atlanta, but they're in the division right now. Obviously 3 games behind the Saints, but the other people in their division aren't faring so well at all. So I'm quite sure they're going to try to find a way to get this thing together, but a lot of change and turnover in Atlanta. Matt Ryan is going to be getting tested as a leader now to see how this team deals with adversity, because Atlanta usually is a winning team year after year. They haven't had a 1-3 start since Matt Ryan has got there. So we'll see how this Falcons team responds. Next up, at 1-3, we have the Carolina Panthers. This Carolina team, offensively, this team has taken steps back. We have to acknowledge that. When Cam Newton came out his rookie year, this guy was spectacular, took the league by storm. Not only passing the ball, his running ability accounted for 34 total touchdowns. We've seen that Steve Smith had found himself again, catching over for 1,300 yards in the year and being an explosive playmaker we knew him to be. Guys like D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart in the running game. But since then, and that happens sometime in the NFL, once you become a superstar, you become a target. You know, guys make it a point to shut you down, and I don't see the Carolina over the past few years since drafting Cam Newton. This is now going into his fourth year. I don't see, his third year. I don't see Carolina putting weapons around him, and particularly in the passing game, to put him in a position to be successful. Teams are normally covering Steve Smith, leaving guys like Brandon LaFell. You can't name the number 3 receiver. Sure, Greg Olson's a good tight end, but in the passing game, let's face it, this NFL is a passing league nowadays, and at least when you need to, if you don't have playmakers in the passing game, you're going to be stuck. The running game, it seems to be sputtering. D'Angelo Williams, he does a good job running the football, but teams are a lot more conscious of what the Panthers can do on the ground, so they look to take that option away first and make it difficult for Cam Newton. So this offense is definitely going to have to step it up if Carolina plans on having any chances at making the playoffs this year, because they don't look good. On the defensive side of the ball, I do see stout defense being played. The rookie Satil coming in from Utah has done an excellent job being a big-time run stopper and clogging up the middle for Carolina. Luke Kelce's a stud. This guy looks to be well on his way to a career filled with Pro Bowls and defensive players. I mean, he's effective against the run. He can drop back in the pass coverage. He's just a big-time playmaker. I'm really high on Kelce. This was an excellent pick for Carolina last year. It's good to see Thomas Davis back healthy. The Panthers' defense have been stout this year. We can't leave out defensive end Charles Johnson, but they're another team that, due to their offense kind of sputtering and not capitalizing on opportunities, they find themselves on the field a lot. And you know how it is. At some point in time, you know, you find yourself giving up some points or some plays because you know you're on the field so much. It does happen. So the Panthers at 1-3, they definitely have to get it together on the offensive side of football. Last but not least, coming in now at 0-4, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has completely fell apart. Coach Schiano coming in from Rutgers. I believe this is his last year. He's been there 2 years. It's just not working out, you know. He lost the team early. They've cut quarterback Josh Freeman. The team's in disarray. You know, guys just aren't performing. They're not responding to him. When you get rid of a guy, you know, you see that type of dissension with the starting quarterback in the team who has a team's respect. It just doesn't look good. Darrelle Revis on defense, he looks to be rounding back into form. It's good to see him back out there healthy on the football field, but with the trouble that this team has had on the offensive side of the ball, and the weapons are there. They have Doug Martin at running back. They have Mike Williams at wide receiver. They have Vincent Jackson at wide receiver. They just have not been able to put it together and make enough plays on the offensive side of the football. And here's another team, you know, defense does well enough, but on the field way too much, you know, to the point that, you know, at some point they buckle and break. So this team is 0-4. The Bucs are done. I don't know what it's going to take, but if this team finishes 500, it'd be an admiration at this point, because it just doesn't look good. You can tell the locker room's torn apart. Schiano feels the pressure. You know, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team looks to be in big time trouble, so we'll see how it turns out. That wraps up the NFC South. Once again, it's the NFL Exporter Ty Goodman, Underworld Sports Show.